everyone. Welcome back to the Sleight of Hand podcast. My name is Thomas. I play Jon-E, the Dragonborn, and we're here to welcome you to episode 14, Jon-E Bravo, where Jon-E bites off more than he expected.
How's it going, everyone?
It's been a pretty good week.
Bunch of tree hugging that last episode, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I would say we got off on the wrong limb there.
Cree does every day when he gets out of bed.
Ooh, low blow.
Peg legger. Hey, you finished that shambling mound with the crit. There was 3 crits in that combat.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was 3 crits and then 2 critical fails? I failed once critical, and then Derek failed, I think, as well.
You should roll a nat one.
Or no, Adam did before
Perception.
combat. So it was 3 and 3.
Yeah.
Or 2 and 3.
Yeah. Our first battle.
But there was a lot of very, very drastic stuff going on.
Yeah.
Before we get started, just want to give another shout out to our good friend Deco Wilson. You probably have heard of his name before by now. He is the wonderful, amazing, talented artist who has been drawing our characters and hopefully more things in the future to help get a better visual for the campaign until we are able to advance our technology to maybe one day get video on this. Who knows? But for now, if you want to check him out, you can always go to his Instagram at onebluewolf_ad. That is 1 as in the number 1, ONEBLUEWOLF_AD. And you can check out his website at onebluewolf.artstation.com.
Yep.
Good job spelling, by the way. Doing math and spelling.
I was like, I'm
is
gonna
so
mess
hard.
this up, but as long as it's good.
Hey, as long as it's not me doing the math, I'm fine.
Says the banker.
The
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
The accounting major who can't do math, even though he successfully passed 3 calculus classes.
Why did you get 3 times?
Trying to be a CPA.
Yeah. And because I like it. I like
You
math,
know what
but I'm
I
not
like?
good at it.
Dungeons and Dragons.
And we're not good at it.
We're not good at it, but we like
I
it.
mean, Johnny
But
almost
all that
died,
matters is
so-
having fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
The more times I almost die, that means the more times that I have critically succeeded at living.
Yeah. So,
I like your outlook.
obviously, this is a little meta game, but as players, how are you feeling right now? Not as the characters, but as the players and expectations of what's happening right now. Do you have any hint of or clue of what's going on? I'm kind of curious to hear people's input.
Like the overarching story that you have
So
planned
like
for us?
overarching story, what's happened so far, development. Do you hate your characters yet?
I'm having fun for sure, but I'm definitely looking forward to doing some shopping because Zediac needs some. I need some. I need to change something.
Yeah.
We also
You
need
did get a
money.
spare outfit, you just didn't want to wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I left that back in wherever we were.
Gresk.
Yeah, I didn't keep that.
Yeah. I know for the listeners, you probably don't hear this as much, but I'm begroaning over here because I now have one weapon. I've been wanting to get... Yes, as my fellow players have reminded me, I can always ask to borrow, but Creed definitely likes to get his own special fancy stuff, and I've been waiting on that. But I know I'm really interested in just kind of like seeing where all these Tangled stories are going, because we've gone from one thing to another. And I've been really impressed with, shout out to you, Ian, just like how you're kind of taking these really wonky things and just making it just absolutely work. I'm excited to see, for example, like how Adam and Kree's stories interweave. Like a fun detail, I don't know if anyone else knows, but like Kree has hazel eyes and so does...
That wasn't planned, by the way.
Adam, yeah, and that was completely unplanned, at least on our 2 parts. So I'm just sitting there going like, I'm getting goosebumps, is essentially what it's coming down to, and I'm really loving it so far.
I try really hard when you guys put in the work to write and give me content. I want to make sure that I am taking it and using it to the best of my abilities. Obviously, you can't just content dump everything in one shot. But just taking bits and pieces every here now and then and just kind of giving that kind of off-scene or cut-scene stuff for the listeners and just for you guys outside of your players' minds to kind of see the world coming together. That's my goal.
Yeah. Also, on that note, when Ian was doing the background, where he introduced the fact that Kree and Adam were related, both of our faces were just like jaw drop, like what? It was exciting.
Yeah, if you-
I've had that planned for a while, and I just didn't know how it was going to work, and I've rewritten and that part a couple of times, and I'm like, how am I really going to make this flow? And at the time, Christopher had sent me a backstory, which was really good, but in a sense, it was something that I would have already like written to say live, and I wanted bullet points so that I can kind of put my spin on it. And so he got me kind of a refined notes, and I'm like, I can really use this, just with his background as being on boats and you being in the trading business. I'm like, I can really mold these two worlds together, from noble to just blue collar, and I like where it's going so far.
Yeah.
And even just kind of diving into Jon-E and Zediac's backstories. They come from smaller villages. Obviously, we didn't dive into young adulthood for Zediac, just his childhood. And Jon-E, we didn't do any really young stuff. We just did right before he met you guys. And Estella, we haven't really talked about yet. Because Estella's life is horrible, and she needs to go to Dr. Phil.
More Oprah.
Yeah, or Oprah. So.
And you get a backstory.
Exactly.
And you get a backstory. Everybody gets a backstory. Woo!
I guess with that, one last story for the road would be good. This one, I had trouble rewriting it over and over because also so much good content to work with, and you can only pick so much. So give you a little bit now before he dies in the woods. I'm just kidding. You guys are champs. So it's evening time, and imagine that you're walking up these spiraled stone cases or stairwells, and you get to what seems to be probably the 5th floor of some type of manor. A very wealthy family lives here. Everything's stoned, and there's cloth rugs on the ground, green with purple, and you see like gold tassels. All of the family crest stuff, though, has been tattered and ripped down. You see no noblemen or servants walking the hallways. You get down to the 3rd door on the right, and you see what looks to be a little slide. You open the slide, and you see a young girl, pale complexion, black hair, sitting on a bed, alone. As if you were the guard trying to open the door is locked. And this girl looks like she is malnourished and she hasn't eaten in days. Now we go to this little girl's eyes, and she's sitting on her bed, and you see the door open, and you see a red figure. It's time, Estella. It's time to go downstairs. Estella starts to squirm, and she can't really fight back because she doesn't really have much strength. They feed her just enough to survive. This seems like days to get down to what looks to be some sort of dungeon. They open the door, and you can hear screaming and crying. You see this man posted up, almost as if he's crucified on an X. You see 2 other winged demon-like creatures flaying a man, torturing him, cutting limbs off, and he is screaming in agony. Estella crying, saying no, she doesn't want to look. And the winged creature says, "If you don't look, we won't stop. And they grab her by the neck and the head, and they hold her eyelids open so that she can watch as they flay her father. The father, trying to look at Estella, trying to calm her down, says, "It'll be okay." They pull her out of the room, and Estella keeps hearing these sounds. The next day she wakes up, and her father is fine again. He's in another room, and she can hear him talking, although he also sounds a little bit weaker. And then the same thing happens again. The guards come and grab him. He starts screaming and shouting. And she goes up to the slider to see his father, as if this has been happening for months. As if they've been torturing him and healing him and torturing him and healing him. And now we're back in the woods.
Right.
Estella, they're sitting on her knees holding Johnny's head until he's awakened and healed. Kind of chanting to herself quietly as she continues the prayer until it is done.
That old lady was very crazy. You have perfectly round ears. I can see very well from here.
Not paying attention to that, just still like mumbling a little chant underneath it because it takes 10 minutes, so.
Okay. And as we left off, you guys all kind of heard someone approaching from the north. And you see what looks to be a male and female figure coming down the pathway. I'd say 300 yards out, with what looks to be either a big hound or a wolf companion next to them. Very similarly dressed to people that you've run into in the beginning of your adventures. What do you do?
I would stay hidden.
I would join Kree in the bushes.
Ooh.
Hey.
Okay.
And hide.
Still sitting there mumbling my chant.
And Zediac will walk out along the path and I see Adam and Kree. They have a wolf. There's no point in hiding. It's going to smell you. Especially you, Kree.
You kind of smell like booze.
Oh, he would also smell the perfume on Adam.
Which also smells like booze.
Does he wear Justin Bieber scent?
Ariana Grande, okay, get it right.
There we go. It's the Kardashian special. I don't know.
I'm going to now try to erase these images from my mind.
Said he acts like I use a bar soap.
Sometimes.
What is soap?
So who is attempting to hide in the woods and who is staying on the path?
Still
Johnny,
hide.
you're laying in Estella's arms, right?
I'm enjoying it too.
Like, head on lap.
Is this after he finishes prayer of healing?
Yeah, I mean, they're 300. I'm sure by the time they kind of get within range of this little intersection area, that's done.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, not reacting until they walk up then.
I'll put the short sword and the whip away, but I'll keep my hand on my short sword.
Okay.
Definitely still hiding.
Great. Still hiding. Okay. So the male and female and their wolf get within, I'd say, 50 feet, and they now see you, and they kind of halt.
Does the female look like a halfling or a gnome?
No.
Okay.
They both appear to be regular human size.
Definitely still hiding.
Okay.
I'd
So-
like to use my
Yeah?
use message and message Fluffy and just send him a quick command to fly around behind them and just keep an eye out for funny business.
Okay.
Still looking up, seeing them, just kind of puts her hands, one hand hovering her chest.
Okay.
Not quite doing anything yet, but just waiting. Is Zediac in front of them?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the path, sitting next to Kree and Adam, and I'll just hold a hand up to them and gesture to them, friendly, like wave at them.
So they both kind of halt, and you see the gentleman kind of grab what looks like a collar on the wolf, like sit down, even though he's on edge. And the gentleman speaks up and says, "Where are you going?"
We don't really know where we're going. Is there a... We're probably a little lost.
Yeah.
Is there a town nearby?
You're pretty deep into the woods. This is what you would call Laredra. And as you look closer at the figures, you notice that they have hard pointed ears, and that they're not humans, but that they are elven.
How
We
do you
don't-
spell-
Laredra?
Yeah.
Loraydrah. It's on the world map.
Gotcha.
And he continues to speak and says, "We don't get very many humans up this way.
Yeah, no.
How did you get here?"
Funny story. We were kind of dropped off here.
He looks kind of confused and looks over at the girl, and she's like, yeah.
We're just as confused about it. We don't even know how to get back to where we were before.
"Where were you before? Describe it to me."
I'll look over at Estella and kind of like, should we... How honest should we be with people we don't know?
Looking up at them, could I do a insight check just based, like, do they perceive like friendly, or do I perceive them as like a, like, stereotypically we shouldn't trust these guys on the way that they look?
You can roll that.
13.
They seem trustworthy.
She's gonna look over at Zediac and just give him one small nod.
Okay.
Jon-E's going to grab his lute and just start playing this. "We come from a land of magic. Many strange things. We don't know where we are. Hi, my name is Jon-E."
Do you sing that as you come out of the trees?
No, I'm playing
okay.
in Stella's
All right.
lap.
As you're done, she's go. You can get up now if you're feeling better.
Thank you, Mrs. Stella. I'll stand back up.
She too will slowly get up.
Yeah.
We were in the Feywild for a while, and then very suddenly we weren't. And we would like to get back, but we don't know how to do that at the moment.
I feel like Johnny's rubbing off on you.
What exactly got you here?
I don't know how to explain it. It's more of there was a portal, we decided to step through it and see what was on the other side, and now we're here.
So they start talking amongst themselves in Elven, quietly.
Gonna try to listen to this.
All right.
I would like to as well.
Adam would as well.
Okay. They're kind of muttering, and the gentleman looks over to the girl and says, "Do you think that they're with Holly?"
I will respond.
And
I will respond in Elvish.
Okay.
Yes, we are with Holly,
He's kind of taken back.
the one that took us to the Feywild.
Yeah, he's like taken back that you speak Elven. And he looks at you and says, "Would you like to come with us?"
Adam would like to do an insight check. Just watching from the bushes.
Yeah.
Reaper. Probably not. It's under 10.
They
No
look
read.
like nice people.
What do you think, Stella?
She's speaking Elven.
Mm-hmm.
What part are you from?
Well, our ancestors are from Laredra. It's the far north.
I'm familiar. But what part of it? North, south of town? North of it?
We are
In
the
the heart.
outskirts on the west side.
And what are your names?
My name is Zephyr, and this is Cora.
What's the little one's name?
The wolf? He does not have a name.
I see. She's gonna walk up to them.
At that point, seeing that they seem trustworthy, Kree just busts out of the bushes
Drunkenly
and
stumbles.
introduces himself as I'm Kree, the Red Mire Bay.
Hi, Kree. I was wondering when you'd come out.
And then Adam follows. Sorry for the impropriety. My name is Adam von Alistair Carlisle Shadecrest the Eighth.
I start sticking my hand
a
out
pleasure
to
to
cover his
meet-
mouth halfway through the introduction.
It was a pleasure to meet you. Why were you in the bush? Never mind. I don't want to know.
Fair enough.
Boys will be boys.
That could mean so many things.
We're gonna let it mean nothing. Alrighty.
Are you sure that your pet does not have a name? My pet has a name.
Yes.
And I will very shrilly whistle and hold up my arm like a falconeer and just wait for Fluffy to land on it.
Fluffy's eating a bug.
I hope Fluffy lands on your head instead, just to show how I'm trained in this.
This is Fluffy.
You guys are quite an interesting band of travelers.
You're right. We should start a band.
I just realized
What?
Long Journey's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hard carry's not here with us anymore.
No wonder why we've been getting beat so badly.
Oh, someone mentioned it earlier, but I'm the one with the bag of holding, by the way.
Okay. I just forgot.
I forgot I gave you guys that.
Yeah, I have it.
Well, it did have kids in it when we first got it.
Oh yeah, daycare.
Bag of holding, great for kids.
Great for children.
Zephyr
Great
and
for the
Cora,
whole
was it?
family.
Yes.
My name is Estella. This is... Oh, you met those two. And Fluffy over there. And,
I'm Zediac.
Nice to meet you. Would you like to come back to our village?
Sure.
So they start traveling south. They keep walking past you and they said, follow us.
Adam asks, what's down the way you came from?
A vast lake. Floating islands. You never heard of those?
I believe I've heard of them, never been.
Yeah. You want to make a history check?
Yeah.
Nat 20.
Natural 18.
So it's the island of
Plus the-
giants. You've heard of it.
Yeah.
So 21 total.
Yeah. It's like huge floating rocks above a huge lake.
We come pretty far from our original starting point of this journey.
Mm-hmm.
Adam inquires if they know whether or not the giants still reside there.
Of course. I wouldn't go there, though. You'd be destroyed.
I would assume so. Not very friendly.
They work out all the time.
Every day is leg day.
So they continue down south for a couple of hours, and You start to hear birds chirping, and I imagine if Fluffy is flying above, he kind of sees an opening at this point. You come to a river. You hear running water, and you see what looks to be 2 archer posts on either side with a bridge going over the water. Heavily armed, and you would think that there's probably 200 people living in this village. You also see what looks to be tribal posted signs with the same symbol of the elk and human skull with the sword going through it atop. And as you get to the bridge, some guards walk up and greet Zephyr and Cora and ask who you guys are, and they kind of explain. And Zephyr looks back to you guys and says, I suppose we could put you guys up, but no weapons are allowed in the camp.
Why is everybody looking at me?
Well, I don't speak Elfish.
And there's no visible weapons on Adam.
Oh. They said they don't allow weapons in the village.
Hearing that, Cree, it's I'm assuming it's late at night, or is it? What time of day is it actually?
It's I'd say in relatively like 4:30 p.m. Like
Yeah,
sun's going
getting
down.
later in the day. It's like
Yeah.
Cree much more values a comfy bed than a crossbow.
Yeah, and they kind of like reassure you this like, we just want to get to know you first. We don't trust you as much as you don't trust us, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
We have a place we can put you up in the backside of our camp, and if the first day goes fine, you can have your weapons back. If you need to shop or do anything like that, we have a small little farm and not very many wares, but if we trust you, maybe you can buy some weapons or some armor here that we've made.
Estelle's going to ask if she could just carry her walking stick with her. But she will hand over her mace.
You couldn't depart an old man from his walking stick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Cree will do the same.
Crossbow,
Crossbow, handed it over.
sword.
No sword. As in, I don't have a sword.
He left it in the...
Because the mimics.
I thought you said you had 2 swords. You had a
No.
short sword and a...
No, I'm missing my rapier.
Okay.
It's been lost.
Jon-E.
Jon-E will offer the handle of his mace, and as he's handing it over, would you believe me if I said it was just part of my act? Not really trying to keep it, but just,
Yeah.
on the off chance.
I just kind of take it without responding. So
As everyone's doing that, I'd like to see if I can sleight of hand the whip into the bag of holding.
And while he's doing that, I'm going, by the way, do you have a lockup cellar of some sort? We, as you notice along his travels, we've been carrying a prisoner with us. And we don't really want to kill him per se, but he's better off being locked up than released.
Not to be trusted. He's a master of disguise.
What you would call a doppelganger?
we're familiar. These are bad people.
And
We have a holding cell. We can lock him up in there. He doesn't have any effects or anything on him, I hope.
as far as we know, we've just been kind of knocking him out each time.
I imagine our guards would do the same.
It's the best of...
If you wish to keep him here, I don't see a reason for us to carry him anymore.
You see the 2 guards that were talking to Cora and Zephyr kind of wave to other guys, and they have really thick rope, and they re-tie him up better than you guys had and said, if you don't mind, we can lock him up.
Yeah, by all means.
Cree's a little insulted by that.
Hopefully to
Sailor knot.
So is Jon-E. Jon-E thought his knots were great.
hopefully
just wrapped
to
him
like kind of get the hint that Zediac is trying to store us in and maybe help him out with that.
Would I get advantage on the roll?
So
If we're trying to distract him.
Yeah,
At all.
let's
I do,
do a
'cause-
collaborative roll between Estella and Zediac because you guys are trying to do this together. You guys can both roll, and we'll take the better roll. We
Okay,
won't
I
do
rolled,
double.
I rolled a 10. Don't fail
I
me.
don't have any bonuses.
I don't either.
Oh, that's a 16.
So that brings my score up to 17.
You successfully slip it into the bag of holding.
Okay, good. And I'll hand them my short sword.
Sounds good. Zephyr quickly excuses himself, and Cora says in Elven to Estella, "Come this way." And you guys start to walk through this village, and they're very specific on keeping you to a certain path. And they get you to the back corner, and it looks like there's a fire pit and what looks to be a cabin. You also kind of see an overgrown like grass and things like that. Huge bones of lizard-like creatures just kind of buried into the ground. And they open the door and they say, well, you could stay here for the night. And she leaves you. Adam recognizes this to be Khall Bashmat, the map that he found in the cemetery of the cathedral, or the tomb of the cathedral.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So with the map and unbothered,
I will show the map to the rest of the party.
this is the first time you're showing them this map,
Well,
other than
Zediac
Zodiac.
saw it
Yeah.
before, but...
Yeah.
So, I know where we are, guys. We are in Khall Bashmat.
I guess a history check if I know that area. If that's alright.
You're gonna do what?
A history check if I know that area.
Yeah.
That is 22.
With a 22, you have never heard of Bashmat.
I assume this is more of a... almost a secret tribal village. Is that kind of like the vibe we're getting?
Yeah, and there's a lot of artifacts, but all of the structures have probably been built within the last year.
Oh, so it's very new.
Surrounding, like, ancient ruin stuff and artifacts and geological stuff. The buildings are new, but not everything. They picked this place specifically, but you just don't know why.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, I'd like to check the house out and
Yeah,
the cabin where we're
absolutely.
staying, and
Yeah. Want to roll perception?
I would love to. 15.
Open floor plan, stone, brick walls, bunk bed set up. It is the Motel 6 of... it's nowhere near as nice as the place you got put up in Gresk.
Adam is giving the...
Single sheet,
Yeah.
hay mattresses.
He's just like, ugh. This is terrible.
If you get cold, you can borrow the direwolf pelt that I have.
He's definitely thinking about it.
You said we have a fire to ourselves, for example.
Yeah, right outside.
Nice. Good stuff. Ooh. Ooh. Right. Oh, shit.
Here's how Dex.
Whoa, what do you know? Johnny gets to go first.
Mr. Adam, you seem very upset by these beds. Are these not fine beds?
These aren't beds. These are flea bags.
I'm confused. This is what I have slept on almost every day of my life.
I don't know. A bunch of fleas. You should be used to bloodsuckers.
Lawyers, yes. Fleas, no.
What is a lawyer?
A bloodsucker. They're like a flea.
Oh, okay. I'm familiar with
Prefer
these.
to come from behind too.
This actually looks to be quite quality hay. I do believe this will be a very comfortable night.
Adam's gonna leave the room and start wandering.
It's a single room.
The open floor plan. There's no
It's a
room.
single room.
He's
so
gonna leave the building.
yeah, I'm out.
That is a closet. No. No.
It's the size of my bathroom.
I'm also going to go out and try to explore, but obviously they gave us a vibe of like you don't get to just kind of wander anywhere you want. But were we given any indication of where the wares were and whatnot?
You walked by what looked like almost like a farmer's market cart, and maybe you can get something there.
But yeah, at least to stock up.
There's soldiers and there's like what looks to be village people, and the soldiers look well taken care of, and the noble or the village people know.
Yeah, Cree goes out to the farmer's market to see if we can maybe get some rations, for example.
Okay.
So
You see a young girl there, kind of like dirty a little bit, and quite young, probably 14, 15 years old, with a hood up, hair down, and what can I get for you, sir?
Cree cracks a smile like, why hide such beauty? I'm here to get some rations, if you would.
She kind of smiles, but she tries to get back to business. And what kind of rations are you looking for? We have some fruit and some bread. Some fish from the river.
Yeah, Cree would buy whatever fish is available for the group, and then 2 loaves of bread.
Okay. She says that'll be 2 gold pieces.
Yeah, he cracks a smile and then throws 2 gold pieces and 1 silver piece her way.
Okay. And she says, thank you. What are you doing here? You're not one of the tribesmen, are you?
No. We are travelers from a land, not quite sure actually how to describe it, but nothing like this. What tribe are you speaking of?
The tribe here. Khall Bashmat, that's where you're at. Where did you come from exactly?
Well, I'm from a lot of places myself, but we come from Fort Gresk.
Her eyes kind of get big when you say Fort Gresk.
Yeah.
And
I'm about to get us kicked out of the village.
She says, that sounds familiar. Really familiar. I heard it fell a long time ago in a battle between elves and humans. Yeah. And she looks really confused.
Yeah. I go like...
almost as if she knows more than she can remember at the moment.
Yeah. I play it off as a play in words like, oh, did I say Fort Gresk? I meant Fort Dresk. But,
And she's like, I need to get back to work now.
I just give her just another smile and walk away with the fish and the bread, heading back to the rest of the party.
Okay.
So there's nobody like guarding our little house here, right?
There's 2 more towers that can easily see the home. They have a good aerial view of their entire village, and they've done that strategically with the clearing. But other than that, on the ground, not very many people.
Okay. Jon-E is going to just kind of casually go outside and stroll around to the back of the house. And can he see some of the towers from back here?
So the building is blocking the view of the towers of you, and you see kind of two green, kind of grassy mounds, and it goes into like a very thick forest area, kind of jungly forest.
Okay, we're going to take a little risk here. We're going to cast Disguise Self. I'm going to make myself look like an elf. Someone who would be fit to be seen around the fair maiden Twilight. Very handsome. And similar looking to the elves around here, though, so that I wouldn't stand out too much.
Okay.
And because I've recently used Tides of Chaos, that will trigger wild magic.
All right. So you disguise yourself as I'm assuming a similar elf to someone that you might have seen in the village coming through, as far as clothing and wares.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do that, and
So when I said Kree gets us kicked out of the village, I really meant Jon-E.
Are you surprised?
No, unfortunately.
92.
If you die within the next minute, you immediately come back to life as if by the reincarnate spell.
I got 60 seconds. Let's go. No.
So you... Wild magic happens, but you don't know it happens.
Exactly.
I'd like to just kind of wander into the shops area and just see if there's like a tavern or an inn.
So you get to the same kind of booth that Kree was at. You walk by these kind of pillars and you see these like wired spider webs. They're not actual spider webs, but like metal, almost like architecture is kind of broken. You get past that and you look to the left and you see more of the signs with the symbols staked into the ground. And you see what looks to be a 3-story tower with 5 tents surrounding it. And then hills and rocks and trees. Very similar to the court area in Fort Gresk. And it looks as if it's pretty heavily guarded on the ground. And without access directly, you would not be getting in that area. To your right, you see what looks to be a big hall that would be for general gathering or meetings or rituals, whatever they're doing.
It's at this point I realize I don't speak Elvish, and so communicating with anybody at all might just give me away. But I'm going to go into the Great Hall and just kind of lean up against one of the walls and see what I see.
So you walk in and you see more elves in there. And they're no soldiers, though. They're all like cloaked in gray cloaks. Gold belts. And it looks as if they're almost in trance, as if they're praying. And there's an altar on the back wall. You want to roll a religion check for me?
Please tell me Jon-E steals the idol.
Don't put it past me.
Like, I love that you joke that Kree's the thief, but I really have a stinking feeling that Jon-E is the part.
That'll be a 5.
You can definitely see it, but it's not striking you as something that you've seen before, although you definitely have. And it looks to be what looks to be like this piping that's shaped as a torch, like mace, and there's a huge wooden man-made skull on the top, and they're trying to light it as if an offering. And it's very similar to Orcus's symbol.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not ringing a bell to you.
You say they're trying to light it, as in they're having trouble?
As in they're about to... No. As in they're about to walk up and start doing some type of ritual.
Okay.
I wish you were all here to see Zediac's horror.
Over here hyperventilating.
I'm sorry.
Anything that
His
Jon-E
player.
does, Zediac disapproves. No,
So
son.
there's no one just like standing around.
Zediac's not there. Justin is just like,
Yeah.
I'm not
the owner.
I'm not sure what he's gonna do, but I don't like it.
So there's no one just like standing around. Everybody's pretty focused on this.
They're not. They don't even realize you're in the room. So
Jeez.
I'm gonna hang around for 10 minutes, and we'll come back to this.
okay. What is everyone else doing?
Adam was gonna go wash up, if he's allowed to. Though, actually, technically, due to his being of noble birth, his feature for that is position of privilege. Thanks to your noble birth, people are inclined to think the best of you. You are welcomed in high society, and people assume you have the right to be wherever you are. The common folk make every effort to accommodate you and avoid your displeasure, and other people of high birth treat you as a member of the same social sphere. You can secure audience with the local noble if you need to. I'm just going down to the creek. And just to, rinse off.
Okay.
And clean up.
So you walk through the village and you get back to the bridge where you came over, and you find a spot under the bridge to kind of bathe, and the guards are looking down like...
Oh, not in full-on view, but...
Yeah.
I
mean, you're off to the side, but obviously the guards are always watching.
Yeah.
The guards are perturbed. The troll is perturbed.
Yeah, and they're just kind of looking over there like, what is this dude doing? Okay. Estella.
Has everyone left the house thing that we're staying in?
You probably have a few minutes to yourself, but Kree is wandering back. But he will be outside getting all of you dinner ready because...
Yeah, he's cooking on the fire. The fish.
Such a
yeah,
sweetie.
5 fish and 2 loaves of bread.
Somebody's got to be the dad around here.
I guess she'll go outside since no one's there anymore. Wait, you said there's bunk beds in here?
Mm-hmm.
How many bunk beds?
It almost looks like it was meant for a barracks, but they cleared it out, or they haven't been using it yet. There's about 12 bunk beds, so 24 people could sleep in there.
Okay.
Party!
I guess she'll take a little stroll close to where they are, but just trying to get some fresh air.
Okay. Zodiac?
I'm actually going to kind of do the same thing. I'm just going to hang out by the entrance to the cabin and keep an eye out, but I'm not going to go wandering.
Not anymore. Okay.
What?
The last time we went wandering, it didn't go good.
They said stay here, so I'd rather not make our hosts
Upset.
Our well-armed
Yeah.
hosts.
Kree's cooking his fine salmon. Jon-E, you're sitting in this room and you're watching these rituals take place. They start chanting in a language you don't understand. Exactly. And at this point, you see what looks like Cora come out from the back. She's wearing the same hood, and she puts on this mask that looks like an elk skull, like coming out, and she has blood painted on her face. And you see her kind of waving someone from the back, and they bring out a child, and escorting the child out is Dobby. They begin to lift up the children, or the child, and put him onto the burnt offering as if the fire is about to get to this child. And he is tied up and gagged, and you hear him starting to scream as they keep on chanting. Jon-E, what do you do?
So real quick, with what Jon-E knows about the world and some of the larger religions, is he familiar with the dragon gods?
Yes, you would be.
Okay. We're going to cast Minor Illusion, and over the sound of everybody chanting, we're going to have Jon-E, in Draconic, start chanting back at them. and
To disrupt, basically.
to disrupt. And most of the words they probably won't understand, but every couple of words he's going to throw in Bahamut and hope that they recognize that. And then, as soon as they start quieting down in common, through minor illusion, he will broadcast, "This displeases Bahamut."
Roll a performance check.
I'm great at those.
It's time to get Barty.
Tides of Chaos.
Ooh.
Because I need this to go real well.
It's not a spell. Well, I guess maybe it is. Because
That's a cantrip, though. So I don't know if that counts.
A
As in
performance check, you said.
level 1.
Yeah.
26.
Successful performance.
Impersonating gods is kind of becoming my thing.
Jon-E sees what's going on and starts yelling this chant at the top of his lungs. And in the back of the room, you see Cora kind of like looking back at you, and the fire that was lit on the offering is starting to like kind of like flicker out and pull and fight as if it's a magical fire. And the louder your chant is getting, it's fighting against their chant as if they can't complete the sacrifice. And they all turn back at you and draw daggers. You see 10 people who are bowed in worship. Cora and Dobby. Roll for initiative.
I do this to myself a lot, don't I?
Yeah. But you're saving a kid.
Episode 1, episode this.
Roll for initiative, buddy.
All right. 4.
All right. And I'm going to roll for Dobby. Alrighty. And Jon-E, I'll let you have a surprise round because you caused this madness.
Because I'm going to need it. So, for my disguise round, I will be dropping disguise self.
Okay.
And immediately recasting disguise self, which will trigger wild magic.
Okay.
And this time, I'm going to disguise myself as originally how I looked as a brass dragonborn, but about a foot taller and with just righteous fire streaming down off of me. And I will begin yelling in common as, "I have been chosen as Bahamut's champion to right this injustice."
And with disguise self, you disguise yourself to someone you knew or have seen, and I imagine that you disguise yourself kind of like
I
your
disguise
uncle
myself as myself.
as yourself,
My brass
but bigger.
self, not blue.
So I imagine like a bigger...
Actually, wait, no. I would also make myself silver to represent Bahamut.
Okay. I imagine you would try to like represent yourself as like a bigger family member of yours.
Yes.
Someone that's scarier than you were ever in your life. I'm just kidding. But this is pretty intimidating because, you know, they pull their daggers out, but the only ones that you're probably really worried about is Dobby and Cora. And let's roll on magic.
Woo! Yeah!
What if it summons a dragon?
Dope.
That's cocked. 17.
You grow a long beard. You grow a long beard made of feathers that remains until you sneeze, at which point the feathers explode out from your face.
What?
So this is a dragonborn with a beard of feathers.
Okay.
Buddy's a beefcake.
All right.
And it's a long beard.
So that's my surprise round. Actually, also for the surprise round, I'm going to take 10 feet back and go towards the opening of the door, making it look like I'm blocking them in, but actually I'm getting out.
Okay. And Cora turns around, pulls off the skull-like helmet and sets it down next to the altar, and she goes from looking like a human elf to a humanoid, kind of almost like an imp, but a human, with small pointed horns and wings. And she flies right up to you. And she says, "It'll be okay." And she kisses you. And let's do a little DC 15 Constitution save. See what happens.
Doesn't matter, got a kiss.
Doesn't matter, got a kiss. Is that a natural one?
That would be a natural one.
Oh, no!
There is a lot of high suggestions that if you have a point of inspiration, this would be a good time. If you don't,
Can I give him mine?
you're going to sacrifice yours.
I will sacrifice mine.
That's fair.
What the buck?
All right, you're cashing it in.
That dice
Justin was
in timeout
kind
jail.
enough to sacrifice his safety for the safety of others.
I'm going to use Tides of Chaos. Give myself advantage on this.
All right. And that's another wild magic as well.
Next time I cast a sorcerer spell.
All right.
What kind of save is this? No, it's not.
You said you roll with advantage, so does that mean you roll twice?
I did roll two dice.
What are they?
It's a Constitution saving throw of 15.
That's a negative rogue leader. However, it's no longer a critical fail, so
It's just a
Hopefully
regular fail.
yeah, it's just
All
a
right.
regular fail.
This is going to be interesting.
All that.
Guys,
You
if I have to
take
betray you,
32 psychic damage.
KO.
Cow!
Do we
Not
sense?
KO, you're just unconscious.
I have a habit of doing this, don't I?
You do.
Hey, is Twilight gonna show up? That'd be dope.
Where's Fluffy?
You are not allowed to be on your own.
Yeah, why are we worried about Zodiac when
Right?
Jon-E is around?
You're at 0.
Because look at that sweet dead face.
I think he
You're
might be
for
dead.
sure at 0.
I think he's dead.
My total hit points is 29.
The fiend kisses a creature charmed by it or a willing creature. The target must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw against this magic, taking psychic damage. On a failed save, you take half damage. The target's hit point maximum is reduced to an amount equal to the damage taken. This reduction lasts until the target finishes a long rest. The target dies if this effect reduces its hit point maximum to 0.
You're dead. No, you're dead.
Wait, DM. I said a willing creature.
No, or willing.
A willing or charmed
Or
creature.
charmed.
Yeah,
He
he
failed.
failed the save.
So
But was he charmed prior?
wait, read
He
it. Let me see.
wasn't charmed prior.
Hold on. Is it?
So he's just at 0.
Let me see.
Nope.
Yep.
Adam is correct.
Because this was an ability used against a non-willing creature, which is me.
Then you just take damage. You're
Hold
0.
on. Are you saying that?
Not
Are
dead.
you saying that Jon-E would not be willing to get kissed?
By a really hot...
Like,
fiend.
as a character, would he be willing to be kissed?
He is more angry about child sacrifice at the moment.
Yeah.
Priorities.
She kisses you and you go unconscious.
I've been here before. I'll be all right.
This is how lawyers are born.
He's become a bloodsucker.
She waves for the servants in the crowd to gather your body, and they take you to the back room.
He does, however, have to make death saving throws.
We will get there.
They take you to the back room, and they put you next to a bunch of other bodies, And Zephyr walks up to you, putting this kind of aura of potion type thing, this incense, burning incense. And you kind of come to, but your eyes are like blurry, like your vision. You're like seeing double, triple of Zephyr. He's still in the elven form. And you look around the rest of the room, and you see 13 other children tied up and bound.
Is he back at 1 then? For HP? Okay. I missed that.
What's everyone else doing?
Waiting for dinner to be ready.
I'm cooking fish.
Finishing up in a shower.
Priorities. Oh my god.
Will we
Johnny,
find
I'm
out what's
done.
happening to good old Jon-E?
Oh my god.
The
We're not the ones.
guards, all of a sudden, for anyone that's outside, start to leave their posts and they start looking for you guys. I'm at. Who's outside? Are you just outside cooking by yourself?
I'm outside.
I mean, I'm
Just some
walking.
Adam's
fish.
outside, finishing up the bath.
You see 2 guards come up to you, armed and drawn swords, and they say, "You must come with us now." Some problems with the dragon, and you will be problems too.
For the sake of argument, did Fluffy have any idea what I just did?
I was assuming that Fluffy was not with you.
Okay. I didn't specify that I wanted him to follow or anything, so.
Although I'm pretty sure you can talk to them telepathically.
If he is within 100 feet of me.
I would say that he's within 100 feet of the building.
Okay.
But
well,
they don't speak common. They only speak telepathically.
well,
So
And we are weaponless. Oh my gosh.
No,
some of you are.
just
Sorry.
you are.
Yeah, thanks. I'm used to this.
I will be continually thinking to myself, Fluffy, let them know.
Okay.
So they're coming up. Like,
Yeah,
Guards
so-
are coming up to us.
Adam will...
So me,
how many of them are there?
2 guards.
I'm going to.
Stella.
Once they get to 30 feet, I'm going to cast Charm Person.
Okay.
So they have to make a Wisdom saving throw.
A 3 and a 5 would be a solid fail for both of them.
Wow.
It does say a humanoid, so not both of them.
Okay.
Just letting
You
you
can
know.
upcast it.
If you upcast it, it should be able to affect multiple people.
I could, but then I have to waste a 2nd level spell. I kind of want to do the one person, just because we could, if we talk good enough, we can get him to convince the other guard.
Okay. So one of them's charmed, and he
Well,
feels a lot.
did you already roll for both of them?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll do for both of them then.
Yeah.
Since you already rolled for him.
I was supposed to say, I mean,
They both failed.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's a...
take advantage of it. Unless you want me to roll again for
No,
them.
you already rolled for them. I meant to do, but if you already, yeah. Anyway. Oh, calm down. What's going on? They have to, if it fails saving throw, it is charmed by you until the end of the spell, or until you and your companions do anything harmful to it. The charmed creature regards you as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed and it lasts for an hour. So these 2 are on our side until one of us hits it or the hour's up.
Okay.
Yeah, they get saves every time they take damage, but it's one of those
Priest
like.
gonna
And you
have
can
fun
ask
with
them
this.
whatever you want, or
Yes.
how's that work?
Can we ask for whatever we want?
Yes.
I mean, they're friendly acquaintances. What's going on?
The dragon interrupted our ritual.
Ritual? What? I'm not familiar with this. What ritual do you speak of?
Our sacrifices to Orcus.
Interesting. Well, maybe we could help you guys. I mean, as you can see, none of us are dragons, right?
I suppose. Yes, and I think that we'll have to sacrifice him too.
I mean, and in fact, she's gonna take off the hood, revealing her pointed ears.
And
I
who's in the
believe
vicinity?
I could help you, but I do believe that he's very powerful. I believe he's some sort of god. We probably need our weapons. If you could go fetch them for us, we will be able to help you and come with you right away.
So the two guards leave.
Hold on, did you
As
want
I
to say
say,
something?
and before they leave, I say, and in the meantime, I am in need of one of your swords.
All right, so one of them leaves their sword. They too go off the opposite direction of where the ritual's going, and they go towards the tents. That's where they were keeping your weapons. They come back about 15 minutes later, and they hand you your gear.
Right.
Thank you.
Good day.
What else can we do for you?
Well, are you back with us?
Yeah.
Adam's far away from you guys.
You got.
He's bathing on the other side of the...
He got grabbed by 2 guards.
Oh, you got grabbed by 2 guards?
Yep.
Oh,
It's just
let's
the 3 of
see.
us.
Zodiac, do we need anything else? We've been on watch with this fella before.
As you're talking to these two guards, Kree, you're kind of surveilling.
Yes.
You see the girl from the booth running kind of out from the booth behind the guards, and as she sees that you're talking to the guards, she stops, and she's kind of like going like this, like they're bad guys. She doesn't know that they're charmed.
Yeah. I'm so happy.
She
I tipped
pulls
her.
her hood down, and you could see that she's a human and that she's a child, probably from Gresk. At this point, you can see that her arms were probably bound at one time.
And this encampment was near the edge of the town. Like, sorry, our the place where we were staying, was it near like the edge?
Yes.
Of this settlement? Kree beckons her to come over.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she does.
Yes.
And just to kind of calm her down, he was like, "We know, little girl. They're with us for now. What is your name?"
I don't remember my name. Certain flashes come back from home. I think they're putting something in what they're feeding us, and we've been trying to not eat, but then it's making us weaker. But the less that we eat, the more our memory comes back.
Do I hear this?
Yeah, you hear that.
Is this true? A poor little defenseless girl, and you're starving her until she eats the food you're forcing her to eat? Which affects her mind? That seems really odd.
So they feed us, and we can't remember. And we've been trying to starve ourselves so that we can figure it out. I do know that I was here with other children, but I don't know where they've taken them. Much younger than me.
So you're telling me that this poor little girl is being tortured in a way by you folks?
I wouldn't call it torture. They're a perfect sacrifice for Orcus.
And what's this sacrifice for? Do you mind coming over here, little girl?
She walks up to you.
I'm gonna kind of stand
Kind
in
of
front
like
her.
feel hesitant,
Yeah.
but she does.
Do you mind telling me what the sacrifice is for? And like being more detailed other than who it's for?
She walks up to you kind of hesitantly.
And I'm gonna offer my hand gently and now tell me what these sacrifices do. Not who they're for. What exactly do they do? And how many have you done?
Today we are trying to initiate the first sequence, and we're trying to make a portal from the Shadowfell to the material plane,
Mm-hmm.
so that Orcus could travel freely
Mm-hmm.
and conquer all planes.
I see. Well, obviously we can't really help you out with our good friend Adam. She says that with a little bit of pain.
Yeah.
We